it's Doc Green, the Road Scholar, coming at y'all. How y'all doing? Brand new year, 2025. I'm heading back out to the oil fields. Can't look at the screen a lot because I'm driving right now. But yeah, I decided to go on back out to the oil fields. I will be leaving later on tonight. It is Saturday, the first Saturday of the year. So I'm really looking forward to getting down there and getting everything started. I had to do quite a bit of things to my truck before I went down there. I got all my brakes replaced all the way around, replaced with 2 steer tires, alignment done. I had to buy a new inverter. My old inverter blew up a long time ago, but I've been at home every night, so they didn't really care. Now that I'm going to be back living in my truck again, it was time to get a new inverter. Got a 6,000 watt inverter for $200 off of Facebook, so that was a great thing. Got it wired up tomorrow. I did test it on my, some jumper cables and everything, make sure it worked. But yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and wire it up in my unit tomorrow. What else I got? Well, there's a lot of great things going on right now. And everything feels great to me. New year, new beginnings. I know that we keep saying that. Last year, I wasn't feeling it. I'll be honest, 2024, I don't know if it was the economy or what it was. And yes, things are looking, I guess because, people say they want to about elections really don't matter, but something matters because the economy is doing better. Oil fields are opening back up, or the companies are getting ready for them to open back up, which is why I'm heading down to West Texas. I'll be hauling frac sand again. So, yeah, things are looking a lot better this year than they were last year. I liked intermodal, and intermodal, you could do okay at intermodal, and you can be home every night and everything, but I need that scratch. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm retiring here in about 4 more years. So I need all the scratch I can get up into my savings accounts, my RAs, max those out and everything so that I can have an enjoyable retirement. Now, when I say retire, do not get me wrong. I don't mean I'm going to be sitting around watching TV or whatever, fishing all the time. I'm going to be doing that too. But I got travel. I have other things I want to try to work on. I'm working on trying to build a bunch of houses. I bought about 10 acres of land. We're building a little neighborhood out there. We're going to try to start selling some of those houses here pretty soon. So those are some things we're working on right now. And this year looking really, really good for us. I'm going to be probably doing a lot more podcasting now that I'm back driving every day, and I'm going to be on the road or living, down there in West Texas mostly, and doing a lot of sand hauling, because you get stuck on those drilling rigs sometime you can be stuck on there all day long, waiting to drop a load. And so, yeah, during that time, it'd be boring. So I'll have nothing better to do than start catching back up on some videos. So stay tuned on that. And I'm going to let you guys know what I'm doing exactly down there and how it's going and how the money's paying out and everything. And I know a lot of sand haulers are going to get mad at me and tell me, you don't need to be telling people this, and because everyone's going to flood the market. Look, I don't have enough subscribers if every subscriber I got went down to West Texas and started working the oil fields, it's not going to flood the market. So I'm not worried about all that. There's other things we're going to be talking about too, like the intermodal side that I've just been working on for the last year. And it paid the bills. It did okay, but I can make a lot more money down here on the oil fields. So that's what we're going to be going over. I'm going to be going over my paychecks each week. I'm going to go over how many runs we're actually doing. That way, you're not hearing a bunch of narky from some guys trying to do recruiting for an oil company, or you're not hearing some guy who's hating an oil company because he don't want to work or anything. You guys know how I work. You know the schedules I put in, and I'm not going to lie to you. Again, my channel is not monetized. I might actually monetize it today because I got time. So my channel might be monetized, but I don't really make a bunch of money. I mean, I'm not really going to make money off my channel. I do this to help other drivers out, give them a heads up on what's going on, what I'm learning, and what we're going through at this time. I don't do it so some company will pay me. You'll never hear me ask you guys, hey, well, you might. I might ask you to use my name or something if you're going to try to sign up for a company. But if you don't, no hard feelings. I'm not going to sit there and make no big deal out of it. If I'm not making enough money driving my truck to make a decent, good living, I'm not going to be doing much driving at that company. That's just the way it is. So I will never be on here just trying to make extra money by lying to you guys. There's no reason to. For one, you'll get on here and tell everyone, I listened to Doc Green and I wouldn't do what he said. He was full of shit and he lied to me and all that. That's what you'll do. You'll tell on me. If you notice, none of my comments, no one's ever complained about what I've told them, because I'm honest. Some people, like when I told people to work for Dart and everything, when I worked for Dart, it was a great way to make money at least. Now people are still asking me, watch my old videos, and they're still asking me, hey, can you still make good money with Dart? Dude, I haven't been with Dart in 2 years. I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, I'm not being mean. 2.5 years ago, I paid off my truck. And to be honest, in the last few months, it was hard. It was hard. So I don't know where Dart stands right now. I have no idea. I'm not going to talk bad about them because they did right by me, and I got my truck paid off, and I did my lease and came out owning my truck, so it was okay with me. Some people say they didn't make any money in this and that. Okay, I don't know what they were doing. I had a lot of drivers that would call me up when they were with Dart and ask me, how are they running, because they weren't making any money. And then when I start asking questions, I find out why they're not making any money. Some of them wanted to be home every weekend. Some of them wanted to only work in certain areas of the country. And okay, well, you're not going to make. Dart is an OTR company. Well, I'm working regional, and I did this and I did that because I want to be home all. Okay, well, you're not going to make the money the OTR drivers make. Dart is an OTR company. But anyway, that was the kind of thing I figured out, that a lot of them would take runs into places they didn't know not to. They didn't know enough about the business, so they would take runs up into Pennsylvania area, Southern Pennsylvania, Virginia area, and there's not a lot coming out of those areas for Dart. So I explained to them everything. Right now, I don't know what Dart's doing. I don't know how they're paying. I don't even know if they're doing leases still. I assume they are, but I'm not gonna. Don't call me up or ask me questions on here about should I go to work for Dart. I have no idea. Should I go to work down in the oil fields? I don't know yet. I'm just now going back. Tomorrow will be my first day of actually running into the sand lots and everything, so I really don't know what to tell you yet. But as soon as I do, I'll let you know. And I'm going to let you guys know about some things you have to prepare for. You don't just go down in the sand fields and sandbox and start making money. You got to get certain certifications. You got to get PEC certified, H2S certifications. You have to go through certain kinds of training. You need to know how the sandboxes work, what the difference is between a sandbox and a hopper. You need to know what kind of protective gear you need. A lot of guys go, well, like they buy the PPE gear, and I'll go over this a lot more in the future on other videos. I'm just kind of give you an overview of what's coming up because there's a lot to talk about in the oil fields. Some people, like I've told people, the oil fields you got to be ready for. And some people go, well, the oil fields the easiest job I ever had. Well, okay, I'm not saying it's hard. I'm saying you have to be prepared for it. You have to understand how to work the oil fields. I've worked them before. I'm sure not. I mean, there has been some changes in the last 6 years, I'm sure, but it's not going to be that far off the mark. So I'll be going over the type of equipment you need, how you need to dress, what kind of breathing mask you need, because you need breathing masks when you're picking up the sand. The sand has got what they call silica-coated sand, and it gets in your lungs, easy in, will not come back out. You breathe that in, a few years later, it's a done deal. It's a wrap, dude. So my advice is to wear your mask, and I have one with the filters on. I'll show you the kind of filters on. I got the filters right down here. Mine have these kind of little filters that go on the side, go on each side and everything. Some people wear just a paper mask. I guess that's up to you. I'm wearing one that's got a full seal on it because those paper masks, just as we found out during COVID, don't work worth a crap. But this kind, I wear one that's got, it's not a full face mask, but it's got the full respirator here. You need safety glasses. I wear safety goggles. The reason is because sand blows up under them, gets in my eyes and stuff. I just don't like the way it feels. And on top of that, because I wear glasses, when reading and stuff, I can wear the glasses under my goggles and be okay. So that's the reason I wear goggles. I went with the DeWalt safety goggles. You also need fire-resistant clothing. That's another thing. But I'll go over all this stuff to you where I got it, the cheapest way to get it and stuff, inexpensive ways. There are used FR clothing for sale down in a lot of places down in the sandbox. When I say the sandbox, I'm referring to West Texas. That's sand everywhere. It's called the sandbox. But there's fracky sand everywhere, but that's when we say sandbox, we're referring to West Texas, mostly. West and South Texas. Maybe some New Mexico, whatever. So I'll be going over, there's a lot of places down there that sell used FR clothing because fire retardant clothing can get quite expensive, especially if you're trying to buy the Ariat brand and it's like $75, $120 a shirt, this, that. I don't do that. I go out here and I buy the cheapest stuff I can get because it's work clothes. I'm not wearing it out to go to a club in. You know, I got my clothes for going out in, and my work clothes are not it. So I'll explain to y'all how to get down in here on the cheapest stuff. There's certain kind of gloves you need. There's all kinds of requirements and everything. You need to know how to operate a chassis, lock these chassis down. One thing I've seen that I don't like in the oil fields, and it seems like none of the sandbox companies or any of these companies really enforce it. But when you lock down a chassis, which I'll do a video on that again. I have one video in here from years ago, about 8 years ago, where I did videos showing people how to lock chassis down, the boxes on chassis. A lot of these oil companies either they don't know or they're not telling the driver something. But every lock or secure system has to have two types of security. So just putting the lock in place, that thing can vibrate out, and it has on containers especially. And I did see one, no, not more. I see more than one sandbox, Halliburton sandbox in the Louisiana area that flipped off their trailers as they went around turns. Now they say they locked them down, and I'm assuming they did because I have seen these latches vibrate loose and they lose their box. But I also think that some guys try to be quick and loosen their latches before they head across a road to drop their sand, and they take a turn and don't realize how top heavy and lose their boxes. That happens too. But as far as latches coming loose, I know those come loose because even driving intermodal, which I drove intermodal for well over 2 decades, I've had latches come loose on me, you know, whenever I didn't zip tie them in place or wire them in place or anything. So going out this, and I'll show y'all guys what I'm talking about. They said, well, ours screw up into place and latch, so we don't have that problem. You say it all you want to, but I had driven a chassis one time because I tried it that way, and after a few days, one of mine that I screwed in place and latched became unlatched and vibrated loose. So don't do that. Just lock it down. Just make sure you zip tie it. And you go, how's a little zip tie gonna? The zip tie is not holding the whole weight of the container. It's holding the weight of that little latch. You'll be fine. But we'll go through all that kind of stuff in the future. And there'll be a lot more things. I'm going to show y'all how I deck my truck out. Here this week, because I'm heading down to the sand field, I took off my normal steer tires that you normally rode over the road with or something, and I replaced them with all-purpose tires. The reason is because the all-purpose tires have deeper treads on the sides, and they hold up better in the off-road type of terrain. A lot better than the regular steer tires do. The steer tires are great for open road, on the road, and you're driving 500 miles a day on concrete and everything. Out here in the sand and the mud and everything, you're better off with all-purpose tires on your steers. I also replaced the brakes, all my brakes all the way around. It's been quite a while since I replaced them, and they were due. They were due. So I got to do all that, got to replace those. I also rotated my tires before I head out here, so I put the newer tread on the back, which is the pushing power, and I put the older ones up front and rotated them side to side, so, you know, I'm getting more distribution out of them. As far as I am taking a spare steer tire with one that I took off the front, because if I have flat everything, I don't want to be paying $500 for a steer tire out in the middle of nowhere, and I can use a steer on the front or the back, you know, temporarily, just long enough to get me back into town to get another tire or whatever, and it won't cost me a fortune. So I do have a steer tire I'm chaining up onto my frame that's going to go with me. I have 3 other ones that I use as spares just in case something goes wrong. I'll be taking those down to West Texas and storing them probably in my trailer or something when I'm down there, just in case of an emergency. And it's a lot, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. You know what I'm talking about, guys? So that's some things we'll go over. I also bought a 6,000 watt inverter. And a lot of people, wow, that's overkill. Well, I take a deep fryer with me. I take a microwave. I have a refrigerator. I have a TV. I have my game system. All that stuff on my truck. Plus, you know, other miscellaneous electrical items and stuff. The 3,000 watt inverter did okay for a few years. It did pretty good, but it would not handle the deep fryer. And a deep fryer takes a lot. I am going to get a smaller generator, an actual gas generator, and weld a box onto my frame, or attach a box onto my frame somehow, so that I can run power off my generator at nighttime for heat and cooling of my truck and everything, so I don't have to run my truck all that long. That will save me some fuel. But these are all things I'm going to go over with you guys in the future, show you all how we get all this set up and everything, step by step as we go. But yeah, this week so far, getting my truck all ready, getting all my certifications and my equipment, my clothing, my monitor system, because you got to have an H2S monitor, which I'll explain all that later. Cost me about $2,000 to get ready to go. I still got to do an inspection on my truck, which I'll do first thing in the morning. And on the way down there, I'll stop in somewhere and get my inspection. I know my track capacity inspection. I'm not worried about that. So I'll get all that done, and then I should be. They already got my trailer set up for me and everything, ready for me to get down there. So as soon as I get there, within probably the first 6 to 7 hours, I should be already on my first load. Let's hope it goes that way. Cross your fingers, guys. And we're going to go over. I want to go over the living conditions down there, because the oil fields has not really started booming again yet. Even though they're definitely moving upward, they're not booming yet. We get paid by the ton. I'll go over how all the pay works and everything for you guys. I will show you. Y'all know me. I don't mind showing my paychecks. I may black out some stuff because I take a picture of my paycheck for, I do direct deposit, but I'll show you all the paperwork. I'm going to black out my Social Security number, stuff like that, of course. But I don't mind showing you all the actual stuff, so y'all don't think I'm lying to you or anything. I'll tell you how much you get paid per load, how the loads are moving, if they're really moving as much as they say, things like that. And I'll explain to y'all guys about wells being down, and we're going to go through a lot over the next few months. I know that. And we're going to go step by step. Each day I have more time out in the oil field usually. If I don't post on here every day, every other day, every few days, at least every 3 days, that means I'm probably running at nighttime, because nighttime is loop to loop usually. In the oil field, you don't have to stop because there's not a lot of nighttime drivers, so you just keep rolling. During the day, a lot of times you'll get stuck waiting to get unloaded and everything, so I may have a little bit of time to do videos there. So when I have time, and I will put up videos to let y'all know what's going on that particular day, what we're working with, which wells we're working with, who we're working with, things like that. If you have any questions, if you guys want to go running local, I'm going to do another couple of videos on intermodal in Dallas and give y'all guys some hookup information on a great company to work for in Dallas for intermodal. It's just time for me to hit the oil fields. Moolah. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Just a little quick introduction. I say quick, it's been 17 minutes. Just to let y'all know what's coming up. Welcome to the new year and everything. And by the way, I'm going to start going back to the gym and everything. When I'm home, it's hard to go to the gym because I got a lot of other things I can do. When I'm away from home, it's pretty easy to go to the gym at least every other day, at least 4 or 5 times a week. So I'll be doing that, and I'll be going over those training videos. I'll probably be posting some of those videos on here along with on my trucking page. However, I also have another page that's dedicated just to weightlifting and everything. As you guys can tell, I definitely need to get back in the gym again. I don't even know what my bench press is right now. I know I had it up to about 350 at one point, and I know it's nowhere near that right now because I haven't worked out in a while. But we're going to get back on that, and I'll go over that kind of stuff with y'all on. That's a different kind of. I do like putting the weight stuff and the fitness training on the trucking videos, because I know a lot more truckers need to be physically active and watch their fitness levels. I don't put any trucking stuff on my fitness one, because most of the people watching now are just watching the fitness part, and most of them don't know anything about trucking anyway. So anyway, that's where we're at. And guys, peace out. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, hit like button. If you want to talk about a certain subject out in the oil field, you have a certain question. Here's the thing: if I don't know the answers, we'll go find people who do. I'll start interviewing other truck drivers at truck stops. I don't care. We'll find the answer. So if you got any questions or anything, put them down in the comments below. If you got a little recommendation on something you'd like to talk about, put it down in the comments below. If you just don't like the way my head looks, put it in the comments below. Whatever you want to do, guys. I don't get mad over no jokes or anything, or some people get mad at me. I don't even I take it with a grain of salt. Off my back, like water off a duck. So anyway, guys, y'all have a good one, and we'll get back with you pretty soon.